Yeah, because it took like a thumbnail.
Oh,
and
perfect.
Back here.
Yeah, you hand that to me. Thank you so much.
Okay.
For the record, I have no clue what we're going to be talking about because I don't have access to.
Oh, you want to? I'll pull up. I'm posting in the group chat.
Thank you.
Okay.
We made it.
We're here. I'm like on the verge of a mental breakdown. That was a lot. That was a lot, and I apologize for the craziness. There was just a lot of schedule changes, and there was a lot of you here. Holy crap.
Yeah. Good lord.
There is a lot of you here. Well, anyway, thank you so much for coming. This is the So You Want to Be a Furry YouTuber panel. I am Dalmy.
I am Amari.
I am BetaEtaDelota.
Beta.
And we're super excited to be here. Kind of just to give you guys a general overview of what the goal of this panel was, is we wanted to provide information about our lives and our experiences with being YouTubers, and kind of provide information that might be helpful if you're interested in YouTube, if you're looking to start a channel, if you already have a channel and you're looking at ways to improve or grow. We kind of just wanted to bring our perspectives together as a way to kind of provide resources. There's a couple of things. We're going to be going over a couple of different key topics, such as equipment and brand management and different things like that. We are going to take questions, so if you have a question, please feel free to raise your hand. If we end up getting too many in a row, I am going to try to move the conversation forward, just so that way we don't run out of time. The con security has been absolutely amazing and has given us this room until 5:30. Huge we would not have fit in that room. At all. So, oops, now we know.
Right? Actually, is there anybody still at the door? Because we have some empty seats in the back there. So come on in.
We can have a fire hazard.
Yeah.
Hazard.
We can't be Barry Talks AC.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Calling out Barry Talks.
I was a part of Barry Talks MFF. I'm not calling out. I'm just saying what happened.
Listen to Taylor Law. He knows best.
I mean, Werewolf Daddy, so.
Maybe.
All right. You can also enter through the doors in the back. Over there.
Can you make sure people see?
Yeah. If somebody would. Oh, security's outside. Awesome. Thank you, security, again.
Okay. Alright.
Finally started.
Oh my god! Oh my god. Okay. So, okay, we're good. Alright. So, I think one of the best things is kind of let's go down the line, introduce ourselves, talk about how we got started with YouTube, maybe give a few things about what your channel's about and what you do for those who might not be familiar with you. So we'll start with you.
Hello, I'm Karen. I've come all the way from Australia to be here, and it is insane. So I started YouTube about 2 years ago. Well, I did it as a hobby for about 3 years, just because, well, I just like making videos. It was good fun. I uploaded maybe once every couple of months. And then I found myself in a tough spot trying to get a job. So I'm like, all right, well, let's try this full-time YouTube thing. We started a Patreon, and that went mental. I was not expecting that. So if anyone in here is a patron, thank you so much. You guys got me here. And after more videos, slowly started getting more subscribers, and just last month I hit the 100K, which I never So that's basically me.
Well, I'm Salmi. Hello. I am very small, so I am a nobody. So don't think the whole thing. But I am. I've been doing YouTube. Well, okay. So what happened was, I had made a couple of YouTube videos back when I was in fursuit making, talking about like how to make a fursuit and everything like that. But then I stopped because life's crazy. But then earlier this year, around A&E, I have a bunch of friends of mine who are super into YouTube, and I was like, you know what? Let's do this. Let's try it out. And I loved it. Started making vlogs. People really responded well to it, and then I started really getting heavily into makeup, and I started doing my makeup Fursona transformations, which people absolutely loved, so I just kept going with it. And then I got hired on a Saturday and made a video with me in front of a green screen, and that kind of like, everybody kind of freaked out about that, so that was fun. But no, I really enjoy it. My channel mostly focuses on discussion topics and trying to incorporate beauty and makeup for people who are trans or people who are people of color or queer. So I just kind of try to provide a safe space for people, and I love it. It is absolutely amazing and incredible. So I love it.
Alright, so I guess it's my turn. So, my name is Beta, or BetaEtaDelota, or BetaEtaDelota, or whatever iteration of the name
The
that is come
menorah.
up with, made fun of.
The menorah.
The menorah.
I am the menorah.
Yes. But, yeah, I'm a YouTuber. I've done it for about roughly, nice, alright. I started my freshman year in high school and I'm a junior in college now, so roughly 6 to 7 years I've been doing this. I started doing the cringy Minecraft Let's Plays, vlogs, everyone cares about my face, woo, yeah, and didn't really get anywhere with that. Over time I learned the ins and outs of like what exactly might be needed for YouTube, what you might want to do. I have a swap between several different communities, starting with like commentary, and that was always my niche. I love talking to people, regardless of whether or not I use my face, other expressive ways. I know people use fursuits, I use character stills. That's one of the big things that I use in this community. Eventually, after being in the community I was before, I had kind of just looked at one of the trends on one of my old videos and decided, you know what, let's remake it, let's make it good, let's see what happens. And that was the 7 levels of being a furry. And I wouldn't be here if that video didn't exist. And oh my god, you guys are awesome for getting me here, and I love it. So, I'm not exactly sure where to go besides all this. I'm kind of, my channel's a mishmash of things. I originally started with just talking about anything, complaining mainly, and now I kind of focus more on the informational stuff. I kind of want to be sort of that gateway for people to join the furry fandom, to know exactly what even the most basic things are and what the most advanced things are. I have plenty of series that I'm going to be working on in the future to help people get acquainted with the fandom, and just the fact that I can get someone into this great community of people and find a place that they can call home is what I want to do. So, that's me.
So, to those of you who don't know me, hi. To those of you who do know me, yes, this is what my face does look like. You can stop freaking out. I am Zoey Ross. I go by Imaginatively Unimaginative on YouTube, and I have 2 specific types of videos, and they switch between the 2. I don't know why this ended up happening, but it has. I do stupid con videos occasionally, and drawing tutorials. The reason I did drawing tutorials is because of the call-out culture in the fandom. Ironically enough, where people tell people, don't trace, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Don't do this or you'll be crucified. Guy in the back, he knows what I'm talking about.
No one gets it besides you.
What? Darn it. Okay, well, basically, there was a lot of people saying no and not a lot of people saying yes, and I've been drawing for a year, so in the fandom, and I was like, screw it, I guess I'm making YouTube videos now. And then I made, after a first con video, which was MFF last year, so it's been 1 year since my first convention, I made a how to draw furries tutorial. It is now the first thing that comes up when you search that on Google. So, and I did not start doing cringe videos. I did not start with Minecraft. I literally started YouTube a year ago. So, it's been a wild ride. But I think we need to get moving on, so I am going to shut up.
Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed that introduction. So one of the things we want to start off with is equipment, because I feel like the very first question anyone asks if you're a YouTuber is like, what do you record with? So I'm going to say something that I think all three of everyone up here will agree with. The best camera is the one that's in your pocket. And the reason that I say that is because pretty much every person you'll meet, the first thing they use when I started recording videos, this right here. Yeah. I like probably the first like 3 or 4 videos on my channel were recording on my iPhone, and I think a lot of people underestimate just how powerful mobile phones can be and how useful it can be. I mean, you literally have everything you need right there in your hand.
Yeah, for example, so if you have an iPhone, you've got pretty good color correction. You don't have any edits to it, but you can download apps where you can change it. On a Android device, if I go into my camera settings, I can record at 4K. I have color correction. I can do white balance. I can do basically anything. I can do anything that this GoPro can do except for stabilization. That's the only reason I have this. The first 3 con videos I made and first 3 videos where I did myself live was with this thing. It is dead useful, and there is no reason you can not use it because somebody made a feature film on an iPhone. And if somebody can make a feature film on an iPhone, you can make a gosh darn video on an iPhone for YouTube.
Like, I know it gets really sort of disheartening when you see all these big YouTubers with all this fancy equipment and DSLRs and lights everywhere, and you're like, oh, I need to spend so much money just to make YouTube videos. So, no, we all started small. We all started here. Well, most of us anyway. So, give it a go.
And also, I think, especially with, like, and going into what you were talking about with DSLRs, like, they are great.
Yeah,
like, they're
I use a DSLR.
yeah. Pretty much every YouTuber eventually upgrades to a DSLR. I have a Canon SL2. I highly recommend it if you're a beginner and have never used a DSLR before. It's absolutely incredible. And it is nice. I mean, having the stabilization, having, a quality, the different lenses, all of that is helpful. But do not feel like you need to drop $1,000 to make a video. At the end of the day, your, phone, which also, by the way, costs $1,000, is gonna really do the job. And I think a lot of people underestimate that.
Yeah. For example, all of Sherbert Shenanigans videos are done on an iPhone X.
Yeah.
Also, I have Android. Android's cool too.
I don't have a phone right now. It's not on me. Yeah.
So I think that kind of covers most things for cameras. As far as it goes, like DSLR, like options. I know I mentioned the Canon SL2. Really, there's not really like the wrong DSLR when it comes to YouTube. You just kind of want to make sure you're looking for something that specifically does well for video. So if you're the kind of person that you want to shoot in 4K, make sure you find that. If you're like myself, I want to make sure I can shoot in 120 frames per second for slow-mo. Like, that's something you want to look at. So it is something that I recommend that you do research on. There's some amazing resources out there. Skillshare is an amazing website that you can go to watch different videos, and actually pretty much every big YouTuber has a Skillshare code now. But it's a great resource to learn more about equipment and understand like how a DSLR works, and also to understand iPhone or Android videography. There's a lot of resources there too.
Yeah, there's also Ash Coyote made a really good video on how to take fursuit photography, and it ended up being pretty good for learning how to balance a camera for videos too.
So moving on, I think the next one is sound.
Yes.
So this being a shining moment.
Yeah, and I have to step out because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Girl, that last video you recorded, that sound though.
What, of the high quality burp?
Yeah. Why was the burp in the most HD quality possible? What?
Because when it's trash, you gotta commit to it.
Just remember we shoot for quality, apparently.
So I don't know, Beta, you want to touch on sound a bit, since I know that that's kind of like really, really important for your videos?
Yes. So because I do commentary, I think the only thing that really drives anything I do is my voice. If it doesn't sound good, people don't care. If they can't hear, if they don't know what I'm talking about. So sound quality is probably the most important thing, especially depending on whatever you might want to do. Like tutorials, you kind of want to explain what you're doing. You don't want like a video, like notepad of like, hey guys, we're going to do this tutorial on a desktop sort of thing. It's dumb. But okay.
So like, what microphone do you use at the moment?
So I use a Blue Yeti microphone. That's what I pretty much Actually, no. I started with like a $17, I think it was an Xbox headset. I'm not even joking. I went to Best Buy with like $70. I bought a game capture card, which didn't even record in, I think, 480p, and then a headset, which was like $17. And that's what I started with.
So that was like in the dark ages.
Yeah. And like a year later, I got the Blue Yeti, and I've used that for the past 5 years, roughly. Even though it's completely like, I don't know how outdated it is, it still does the job. But even if you have like the best quality mic, you might need a really good setup with that, like soundproofing, distance from the mic, a pop filter that just so happens to look purple and with googly eyes and a face on it. But really, there are plenty of tutorials online how to do it. I followed this one guy who I was in a community with who showed an in-depth Audacity sound tutorial, which if you didn't know, Audacity is the go-to for recording voice or anything, because you have After Effects that you can add to it. You can add noise removal, treble boost, bass boost. Ironically, bass boost actually helps your voice instead of
Audacity is free, by the way.
Yeah, Audacity's free.
But I've used that tutorial for the past like 4 or so years, and that's how I get like that quality of, I guess, a mic. I don't exactly know how to like link that video, but if you look up like Audacity tutorial on YouTube, something has to come up about like what to do. And with that, it'll take like a lot of practice, a lot of like timing and moments. You want to make sure like no background noise, and even with background noise, there's a way to remove it. Even still, you can't entirely remove it. It's just a lot of pacing and a lot of like just experimenting with what you have.
Yeah.
I have been through so many mics. Like, everything I know about mics now has all been learned through trial and error. So going from using just the mic in my phone, they're like, oh, that's not good, get a DSLR, and then use the mic in the DSLR. Also, let's take that outside on a windy day. That's a great idea. Yeah, no, that didn't work.
Number one.
No. Don't want.
Also, you could do what some people do, is like, I guess, meme or joke about the audio quality. Like in one of my next videos, it was literally recorded in like a shed with no soundproofing and an air conditioner on during the entire time. And I'll just like make a joke near the end of it. I'm like, my ears are in complete bliss right now. Like, this is the best sounding thing I've heard in my life.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just like sort of those things that you can like make a joke about, you know.
What do you find works best for you?
Because it gets a bit hard because it changes a lot depending on your first, like if you do fursuit videos, because how a sound comes out of a fursuit changes from fursuit to fursuit. So originally I went with a lapel mic because that's what everyone was suggesting. It's like, oh, it goes close to your mouth. But because I move around so much, the recording is just like. So from that I went to a USB mic. It was a Rode NT USB. Bit more on the pricey side that I'm used to spending on microphones, but that like made my videos like, because you can watch a video with okay sort of quality, but if the sound, if you can't hear it, then most people will just leave.
Yeah.
So, and then after that, because I got sick of trying to sync up the video and the audio all the time, which is still a legit thing. I got the Rode, the Video Mic Pro, so that actually slides onto the DSLR and plugs directly in, so you've got your video and your sound all together, and it's a shotgun mic, so it picks up fursuits really well.
I Right, that was exactly what I was about to suggest. I started with my iPhone and I used the lapel mic, and actually I recorded my very first vlog and sent it to Kari. And she like gave me a really amazing amount of feedback. And the first, I know, and literally all this feedback, and she just like broke it down and critiqued it, and I was like, oh, I thought I did good. No, it literally was incredibly helpful because she pointed out to me I was using a lav mic and the sound quality was just, it was way too boosted, and then like I switched to the phone microphone, and then it was just like there were all these audio levels, and she was the one who told me like if you're going to make videos, audio is so important. And
yeah, like mixing audio, make sure like especially if you're using different sources of audio, they're going to be at different volumes. So like one part of the video is really loud and it's really quiet, they turn up the volume, and then you go back to the other one, and then you've killed your audience. So you've got to level it.
And we'll talk about that in editing a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Also, I did want to add one point, which kind of adds into, I guess, the video and audio part of it is, you know the old saying of like the first 15 seconds of like a video are the most important because they retain the viewer? Yeah, that's kind of been pushed up to like maybe 25, 30 seconds now with how YouTube is sort of nowadays. And especially with audio, it's about like 50-50 for like whatever is on screen and whatever they're listening to, that'll be like the make or break of whether or not someone will stay and watch a video. And for me, I literally took that into the stance of like, when I would edit my audio, I would only edit the first 30 seconds of it. So ever since like what video, from like September, everything in the first 15 to 30 minutes was the only thing that was edited to like the best possible quality, and the rest of it I just didn't care about. And no one has told me they've noticed at all.
yeah, now you're like, go back and watch and like take that apart.
Okay, so I think I can add a little bit onto this. So my first audio device was a GoPro, and my audio is still a GoPro, ironically enough, for my con videos. And the reason I haven't changed is because I'm cheap. Plain and simple. Now, for video tutorials, I've gone through 3 microphones. The first one is the one built into my PC. Yeah. That was smart. I didn't have money, and it kind of comes back to how you want to start YouTube. It's like you want to start YouTube with little money and just kind of, all right, let's test this out. We don't know if it's going to work. And that was the idea with the first video. It was like, I don't know if I want to do this. Oh crap, that is 10,000 views immediately. Okay, I guess I'm doing this forever now. And even though, and now I use a Rode NT USB, I live in a small dorm room that's about the size of a closet, so my audio is bad, really echoey, and of course my roommate does not like me talking at all. So what ends up happening is I have to do a lot in post. And when I mean a lot in post, I mean I use Adobe Audition because I get the Adobe Suite free with my college. And yeah, lucky me.
I have Australian tax, it's great.
So what I end up doing is I put it in. First thing I do is noise restoration, so it cuts out most of the random background noise. And then from there, I always have my fan just like screeching at like one specific hertz. So I just go into the EQ filter, and this is something I learned from when I used to fiddle around with producing music. And I basically just, all right, make that really skinny and drop it. And then that noise is gone. De-esser, because when you're doing a really long video, S's sound really bad and they get really annoying. So if you're gonna do anything to your audio, always use the de-esser. That's like the one thing that you can get out of it. Is like if you're gonna do nothing else, get rid of the de-esser. Because that will start hurting your ears after about 5 minutes. Yeah, I think that's all I really have to say about that.
So yeah, I think we'll move on to the next one. I think we talked about sound too.
Yeah.
You're deaf. Haha. All right. The next one I want to touch on is lighting and then editing. So lighting is kind of pretty straightforward. Sunlight is your best light. You always want to try to make sure that the sun is facing you, not the camera, because otherwise you're just gonna look really blown out. And lighting can really help with making a video look so much more clear and crystal and much more enjoyable.
Just be careful with sunlight though, because I have a bad habit of, if I use sunlight, I take so long to film my videos, you see like the shadows come over through the video. So.
Yeah. Make sure you have plenty of sunlight. Now, but if you're indoors and you're in a situation where you don't have the best lighting options available, try to make it work in the best way you can. So maybe you have a ceiling light, and then you have a window in your room. Maybe try to sit in a way that you're facing opposite the window, sunlight's coming through, and then that ceiling light is there. It's not the best.
Can I share my very first lighting setup? So for the very first bottle episode, for my lighting setup, because where I was sitting there was a window behind me and like the lights in the room weren't really doing anything, so I stole the bedside table lamp from the bedroom. I got a bunch of boxes, I put it on top of the box, I got an extension cable from the light to wherever the nearest power plug was, and that was my light. It was nice, but
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing, is like, you will find a way. Like, if you want to do it, you will find a way.
those boxes were also my tripod for the camera, which the cats kept running into.
Yeah, for, I know quite a few of my friends that, like, basically torn their houses apart to make, the most ratchet-looking camera setups I've seen. And I've used, like, tons and tons of cardboard boxes for videos that I've done in the past. I have like had a cardboard box taped onto a cardboard box, duct taped to the ground, and then my phone duct taped sideways, and then I rip the duct tape off, record, alright, you're recording for the next 2 hours. Guess you're stuck here.
You have a question?
Actually a contribution. So another thing too, I was actually getting really into lighting, and I actually found for $60 on Amazon, just a pair of 135 watt softboxes.
That's literally what I was just about to
That's what I
mention. The very next thing I was going to cover is with lighting. There are two options that I always recommend. So like if you're someone like me and Furry who are talking directly to the camera, having softbox lighting is super, super helpful. If you go on Amazon and search softbox lighting, I think we probably have the same type. You get, I got a set that cost $130, and it had two lights in there. It had the umbrellas, it had the stands, and it even had my backdrop. I had like the whole backdrop and everything. And then it had a white backdrop, a green backdrop, and a black backdrop. $130, which was crazy good. And then the other option is a ring light. So I actually use a ring light.
I've never used them.
Yeah, I use a ring light for the majority of my videos because since I'm doing makeup, I need to make sure that all the shadows on my face kind of disappear. So that way, when I'm blending something, you're not like, what is that? And that also works amazing. You can find really affordable ones. Amazon is your best friend for everything.
Or eBay if you don't have access to it, because Australia.
You don't have Amazon?
I know, I like that.
It's slowly being rolled in, but still like 90% of it we can't get.
That's so sad. I'm sad.
I'm actually getting one of those ring lights for my room, and the only issue that I encounter right now is because I have a roommate because of college. The light is literally going to shine into his bed past his like curtain, which is a blanket.
Good.
And like I know he's probably watching this live stream. Chris, I know you care, but I don't.
So the next thing we're going to cover, and this is going to be our last part with equipment, is editing. The beast.
Bum bum bum.
Editing, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Editing sucks. Any YouTuber who tells you that they enjoy editing is lying to you.
I sometimes enjoy editing, but then Premiere decides to be more unstable than a psychotic girlfriend who just went through a breakup.
But there are ways to make editing easier on yourself. I again recommend YouTube and Skillshare for looking up tutorials on whatever software you plan to use. I know I personally use Adobe Premiere. I think you use Sony Vegas.
That's 5 years.
Yeah. But
I actually bought it. Don't buy it.
There's a lot of options though. Don't feel like you're limited to the crazy expensive ones. I'm a student, so I get Adobe Suite for $15 a month. But if you are on a budget and you're looking for something, I mean, I've seen people edit with Windows Movie Maker. iMovie is completely free if you have an iPhone or a Mac. You know, like
Yeah, my first videos were Movie Maker.
Yeah, and to be Nas makes all of his videos on iMovie, so.
I wanted to contribute to that. I have used, for my videos, before I was able to get Premiere working, finally, I used a program called VideoPad. It's part of a suite, NCH or NHC, one of the two. NCH. It is free. It's just a little limited, but you can do pretty much anything basic editing with VideoPad. Just make sure you find the right download link.
Okay.
Don't get a virus.
Okay.
Video
Thank you
pad.
for that.
Don't download more RAM.
You could.
Dedicated wham you need to edit.
But yeah, there's other options. Don't feel like you need to blow a ton of money on editing. And when it comes to understanding editing, that's a whole panel in itself. So I don't think we're gonna get too far into that. But I will say this: is take your time and learn keyboard shortcuts.
Yeah, keyboard shortcuts are your best friend.
When I say literally will speed up your editing by hours, I mean literally will speed up your editing by hours.
I just want to make a point that with my type of videos, I put my character still to the side and then I widen a picture, whatever I use in frame, and I've done that manually every single picture I use in a video for the past 3 years. And just 2 weeks ago, one of my brothers came in and was watching me editing. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm suffering. Help me. There's got to be something you can code. You're a CS major." So he literally goes into one of the files that already has like the editing, the cropping done, copies it, and then pastes all attributes to every single one. And I had just learned that I could have saved like a good maybe 5 hours of my life for every video for the past 5 years. I was both happy and broken at the same time.
Remember the gimbal?
No! That's another story.
You have a question?
Yes.
Actually, more of a question and a comment. I use Windows Movie Maker.
Yes.
Hey.
Hey.
What do you think about it? Is there other softwares that can do the same thing out there?
So if you that's the kind of thing that sucks about Windows. Windows is really limited when it comes to free options. With Mac, you have Final Cut Pro and you have iMovie, which are both super affordable, with one being free, the other one I think is like
$100.
Is it $400 now?
100.
Oh, $100. Okay. I was like, $400 sounds really crazy. Yeah, $100. Which for an editing software is pretty affordable. But for Windows, you're really limited. And I kind of wish I had more options. I would definitely recommend the video pad that they recommended. I know there is a couple of different options if you just like Google and search. There's like other like independent like video creators like on YouTube who've made their own software. So if you do some searches for Windows movie editing software, I'm sure you can find a couple.
Alright, thank you.
Alright, so this is another contribution. There are these things called gamepads. They're mostly used for like MMOs, FPSs, because you gotta type. Yeah, those aren't just for gaming. You can use that for art. I have one, and like it comes with mine particularly comes with its own software. And you open up the software, and there's just like a giant list of things that you can download. But you can, depending on which one you buy, they range in price, range from like 70 to like 200 if you want to get the really glowy, pretty rainbow ones that are hashtag legit. But basically you can do those to shortcuts, and it's just instead of like having to do that on your keyboard, it's just like you're pressing a calculator.
Yeah, my housemate has one of those. Hi, Noah. And he'd be watching the stream probably. And he has it set to like all these keyboard shortcuts. You can see like all of the different Adobe programs on there. He just presses it and launches it. It's got pictures on it and everything. I want one. But yeah, there we go.
So, general question. I'm curious. Or do you know how many viewers we're at right now?
Your peak was like 350. You're at 300 right now.
Hi, much bigger room. So, I have two things I can add to this, and because I do mostly YouTube drawing tutorials, I am basically stuck into editing for most of my time in the video. My least favorite part is actually recording the video. Editing is one of my more, better times. But like I said last time, Adobe Premiere on my computer tends to act about as rational as a psychotic girlfriend who just went through a bad breakup. And so there's two things that I really think I can help with this.
Oh, sorry.
Tell me.
And so, wow. Okay, so first off, keyboard shortcuts. Those are the most useful things you will ever find when you're editing, because the mentality that you need to have for YouTube and just for anything in general is work smarter, not harder. there are so many times where you see somebody putting in a numerous amount of effort, and then somebody else comes over, does a quick shortcut key, and it's done, and like an hour job is done in 15 minutes. And with shortcut keys, there are keyboards that people, and keyboard covers that people sell with editing shortcuts labeled on those keys, which is really, really useful. They have them for iMovie, Premiere, Sony Vegas, and if you haven't got one and you're thinking about YouTube or you're a little bit farther in, I would suggest getting one. I know I need to get one, and I've been looking for a while. I just don't have money. Now, the second thing is patience. It is going to take a long time, but if you have the patience and you stay with it, you're fine. Now, most people start at the beginning and then go to the end with the video. Now, that can be useful if you're starting. I would suggest like popping around to parts that like you find interesting stuff. That way, certain spurts of your video are more well edited than others, which is fine as long as it's not front end, because the person's gonna want to watch throughout. So if you want to keep view duration, you're gonna want to have spurts of really good editing throughout the video, and that's what I tend to do. I kind of fell apart on that with the last video. And yeah, that's basically it. It's just hard, it takes patience, and learn how to work smart.
Also, one little tip for those using Sony Vegas or anything that has a save file, save often and save extra files. What I've learned is that save files corrupt, and if you corrupt that one file and you only saved on one file, that work is gone. You are never getting that back. You wasted your time.
Also a big thing, cloud storage is your best friend. I use Dropbox for all of my videos. I don't even save them on my computer. I have my Dropbox folder, I have my YouTube folder, and then all of my video editing is done in Dropbox. And that's for two reasons. One, it means that all my footage, or all of my saves as I'm saving, are instantly uploaded to Dropbox as the file is saved. And it also means that if I'm at a con, or if I'm taking my laptop with me, I don't need to bring my hard drive with me. All of my editing and all of my files are on Dropbox. So I literally just have to open up Premiere, open up that file on my Mac or download those files, and I can immediately start continue editing and not have to worry about anything.
I want to do that, but our upload speed is garbage.
Yeah, you have to have a strong upload speed for that, I will admit. But just know that's an option too, is if you're done with the video and then you want to back it up, you can always put it on there later. I just recommend cloud storage if you have the option, because it is a lifesaver. So next up is I feel like this is the fun section.
Yeah, the fun section.
Content. So one of the things part of the reason why I kind of like put together this panel is because we all have different niches that we kind of operate within. And so I kind of wanted to give us an opportunity to go talk about how you found the content, what made you settle into finding the content that worked for you, and what kind of how do you come up with video ideas, and what do you do to keep yourself inspired? Yeah. Or whoever was good.
Because I kind of forgot to talk about what I did in my introduction.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, I just do Fursona videos, Furry life videos, and then the odd just shenanigans of live streams and con stuff. But I have a series called The Bottle, where I just talk about random topics throughout the fandom, sometimes not even in the fandom, and I do it all in my fursuit. And I decided to start doing that because I was inspired by Fursuiters World. Does anyone know Fursuiters World? A couple? Yeah, they're not very big because they operate on Vimeo, which unfortunately doesn't get a lot of traffic. Yeah, but they're really good, and they did the same sort of thing, where they would sit together and they would talk about a topic, and then something happened in their channel, they had to stop making videos, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe I'll give it a go. And that's when I made the first full episode, which was fursuiting tips and tricks. And it didn't do too bad, but I was more just doing it as a hobby, so I wasn't really watching if it was doing well or not. And I just really enjoyed it, so that's just what I kept doing, and it was something I knew a lot about, it was something I was really passionate about, and it was just really fun. So I just kept on doing that, and now I've lost track how many episodes I've got now. But I do run out of ideas, so that's why when I'm stuck, I'll go and talk to other people. Don't feel like you can't ask for help. Please ask for help if you're stuck on ideas, because just the inspiration you can get from other people is astounding. So, yeah.
So for myself, I kind of bounce all over the place. My channel mostly focuses on vlogs and then makeup. And mostly because I love vlogs, but the makeup and Furry videos are what people actually come to the channel for. So I just found that like Hikari said, it was more so finding a passion that you have and then focusing on that. And for me, that was doing makeup and that was making vlogs because I love just cataloging trips and things like that I've taken, or just talking about the different things that were going on in my life. And when you find some passion for a particular topic, it makes it a lot easier.
Because passion is contagious.
It is. And people can see that through a video. They can hear it, or in Beta's case, they can hear it in your voice. When you actually care about something that you're talking about, humans can pick up on that.
Even when your face is hidden, it still comes through.
and it comes through in multiple ways. It either comes through your voice, or your body movements, or your excitement, or the way that the video is edited, or just the final product. Finding that area that you want to focus on is so key because it'll also kind of give your channel focus. So that way when people are, and if you're the kind of person that wants to do everything, that's totally fine. This is not a rule. But it does kind of help when someone's coming to your channel and they watch a video and they're like, oh wow, that's really interesting. I would like to go and continue to watch more. If you're the kind of person that has a different topic every single video, completely random, then that person might lose interest and they'll be like, well, that one video was cool, but I'm not really interested in the rest. Having something that you kind of focus on and really, really are excited about will make sure that when people come to your channel, they stay on your channel.
Probably one thing I like to emphasize is you got to start from somewhere. It may or may not take a while for you to find your niche, what you like to do. But with YouTube, the most important thing is having a passion. Like you can get up every single day and enjoy what you do. Finding that may be easy. It was easy for me to find exactly what I wanted, which was commentary. I love talking to people.
He does.
I like telling stories even though I'm bad at it. And, despite what I originally did, I'm here now, and I've learned from what you've done. So that's like the one piece of advice I could give to anyone. Like everyone tells me, like, oh, how do I start streaming? How do I start YouTube? Start now. Whatever you would like to do, because that time will allow you to grow and learn what you might want to do. My old videos, my first commentary I did 5 years ago is still on YouTube, and any of you can find it. It's very possible.
One of my favorite sayings is, 1 year from now, you'll wish you started today.
That's really good. That's actually a really great way of thinking about it. And I know a lot, Zillian, I'm sure you'll touch on some stuff in a second. It's like, you eventually you have to stop telling yourself like, oh, I'm gonna start my channel tomorrow. Like I'm gonna make that video tomorrow. You just gotta jump in the deep end and really kind of devote yourself to it. And and sometimes it'll work out, and sometimes it won't. But it's kind of like you were saying, you never know unless you actually give it a try.
Yeah. So this is very different for me because I started a year ago. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and I basically got picked up immediately. So I can't really add to what they're saying. So I'm just gonna kind of explain how I started, and hopefully that can give some insight into how you guys can start or redefine your channel. I started based on the idea that I saw a gap in content. One, there's really no tutorials on how to draw furries at all. It's just, they weren't there, and if they were kind of bad. They were just unclear. It was like, yeah, do this thing. You know the owl meme where it's just like, here, draw 2 circles, and then the rest of the owl. It was kind of like that. And it didn't really explain like why they were doing the things they were doing. It's just like, yeah, draw a circle, draw these lines, draw this, ears, boom, furry monstrosity. And for me, the way that I learn is very visual, but I also learn from hearing. I don't do too well from reading and stuff. I actually have a problem with that, and it's not personal. I don't know why I'm saying that. Anyways, and what I decided to do is something based off of a book that I have. And that book is called my Don't... Can I swear? No, okay, I won't. It's the Don't Bleep Up book. And what I have written in one, and it's basically something that I keep since the beginning of college, where it's basically like every mistake that you make, just write it down. It's not self-deprecation, it's just learning. And on a page in there, in big bold letters, are 2 words: no excuses. And it's a mentality that I live by. It's something that made me start my channel. It's like when you say, oh man, I think I can do better. No excuses. Shh. Put up or shut up. It's like I've seen so many people say, you did that roasting video terrible. It's like, I can do better. Well, where's your video? And it's a very important mentality because I'm a mechanical engineering major that you have to have, because if you don't put up or shut up, people die. It's the saying of a doctor can kill one person at a time, but an engineer can kill thousands. And it's basically, it's very hard to be like, it's very hard to fake being an engineer or very hard to fake being in that type of sect, because you either make something like this or you don't. And that mentality basically meant, all right, I have to make this as professional as I possibly can straight from the beginning with whatever I have. So I had the Adobe Suite, I had a bad microphone, so I did a lot of audio editing, and I made sure that I had all of my logos. I figured out the color palette for my videos and figured out the color palette for my channel. Figured out exactly how I'm gonna color code all of my videos. Figured out exactly what type of background I wanted. I chose like a very professional painterly style, which is very weird because I'm a furry and you'd expect it to just be all colors of the rainbow with no thought whatsoever. But I picked two colors, purplish pink and cyan, or like a bluish color. And those were like the two colors I was gonna associate, mostly blue, and then the pink was gonna be like more of a side color. And for the most part, that has worked extremely well because it's allowed my channel to be very unified in what it's defined as. And that goes into branding, where you're going to want to choose and stick with it. Which, coming ironically from the person who changes the style of their stills every video. I am not kidding. Every single video I've done has a different still style, and I hate it. Hopefully that will change considering the next video, like I finally redesigned some stuff, and I can now do all of my stills in color.
You can use my stills, Karen. I'll send them to you if you want to use them.
I don't need a life jacket.
That was like the best burn I've heard all week.
Yeah.
So going off of kind of what Zillian said actually goes really great, because it goes into kind of the next couple of things we want to talk about, which are, you know, coming up with ideas and then bringing that idea from paper to the video. And the kind of the biggest thing that I wanted to talk about first is it's difficult to come up with ideas.
It is.
It is really hard. Because you'll have like a million thoughts and you'll like be really inspired, and then for the next 2 months you'll have nothing. And it honestly is just a matter of just trying and trying and trying and trying. Writing down ideas. I find like I've had times I've woken up in the middle of the night and I was like, oh, I should have Mark and Gerst paint my face with makeup side by side, and it turned out to be a great video. You know, like it literally is just one of those things that you just kind of have to progressively be working towards. But also, this is the biggest takeaway, and I think you guys can touch on this, is don't feel like you have to drop a ton of money to make a good video. And I know we talked about that with equipment, but just, you can make anything happen. I've been seeing people use green screens out of just green fabric that they got from Joanne Fabrics for 15 bucks. You know, if you're trying to make, you know, character stills, you know, that doesn't cost anything to draw. You know, well, unless you drugs.
I mean...
Well, you know, or you can get someone drawn for you. And just try to think of creative ways to execute those ideas in ways that don't cause you to break the bank. You know, I don't want to see anybody spending $100 just to make a single YouTube video.
Again, being able to be your ingenuity in being able to use things that you probably shouldn't use for certain things but end up working is what really shows that you are passionate and that you've got the grit to do it.
Yeah, sorry, I lost track of my thoughts here.
I guess I could give a little bit of an idea of what I do with my video ideas and how I script.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So if you don't know, every one of my videos is scripted. I have not done improv for any video of mine. Every word is followed based off of what I type. And how do I go through with that? How do I make these ideas? Usually, people say watch YouTube videos. You can do that. You know, you can learn from other people's styles or what they've done or improve on it. That's how I did my Young Furs video. I saw someone else did it, and I'm like, I want to give my touch, my viewpoint on it. And look at it now. But some of what I do is I just live life. I hang out with friends. I try to put myself in new situations that I can learn from or that I can give a viewpoint from that others might not be be able to understand. And that's the most vital point I've learned, especially with like furry YouTube, is like every experience is different. You know, if I were to start doing art videos, I definitely have a different viewpoint than what you would have. If I were to start doing makeup tutorials, I would do something probably very poorly.
The thing is, like, everyone's going to be different. I find my improv isn't ideal. I'm amazing. I'm still, well, there you go. See, I just lost my train of thought. I was about to say, I've still got a train of thought. Now I don't. So I live by scripts, basically. Like, I find my scripted videos a lot better, just because it's all there, it's all in front of me, and I can see what's going on, the video's planned out. So improv could work, doing live stuff could work, or scripts could work for you. Just give it all a go.
Yeah, and I definitely recommend giving every option a try, and not necessarily you need to stick to a single one. For the videos where I'm actually doing a discussion on a topic that I want to provide really informative information about, those are scripted. You know, when I made my video talking about the introduction to fursuit dancing, I was trying to go through a very, beginner tutorial. I wanted to make sure I hit each individual topic and talked in depth about what that one was. So I did. I spent about a day and a half writing out a script. But for some of my other videos where I'm just doing my makeup and having fun with it, or I'm doing my Fursona makeup to like bolt mutt or anything like that, that's something different. I'm just like, this is gonna be fun. I just want to kind of improv this. I want to ad-lib it and have fun while I'm in front of the camera. You don't feel like you are limited to one particular option.
It's like, I took essay writing in high school, and I think that's the only thing from high school I still use. So being able to like actually structure and like each paragraph, I can't even just do it on the fly. I need a script from a panel. So yeah, so being able to like write essays and just write in general will help you write better scripts as well. So
take it from the philosophy minor. I'm majoring in engineering and minoring in philosophy. I don't know how that's happening, but it is.
I recommend if you are the kind of person that you're trying to get into scripting and you're not particularly a strong writer, like I am really, really good at talking to people and talking my way through situations. But when it comes to writing and trying to write eloquently, I feel like I struggle sometimes. So what I did was I actually started looking up tutorials on creative writing and understanding like how to structure a story in a way that's engaging. How do I capture an audience in, like Beta was saying, in that first 15 to 20 seconds? How do I create a video where a person halfway through is like, what's gonna happen at the end? Like, what's going on? Like, those are the kind of things that really keep people engaged. And so if you are a person who struggles with those kind of those options and trying to figure out how to tell a story, do some research. If you have a community college degree, take a creative writing class. There's a whole bunch of options available to you in order to learn how to storyboard, how to write up a script, how to learn how to structure a video from beginning to end in the best way possible. So the other thing that I wanted to touch on is, go over your ideas with other people. Don't get caught up in your own head. I think a lot of YouTubers, especially you guys talk about it, is very lonely sometimes, being a YouTuber.
be sure to ask someone who is going to give you the tea if it's not good.
Yeah.
You don't be like, oh yeah, it's all nice and fluffy, and then they don't actually give you any constructive criticism. Like, you want to find someone who's actually going to help you.
Because otherwise, you're going to make something that might be bad. And if you have to talk to someone who's going to be honest with you, that could have prevented you from making mistakes that you otherwise you wanted to avoid. And
don't be broken-hearted. It's for the greater good.
It is, and try not to take it personally. When a person is being honest with you and giving you feedback and saying, hey, I think this video could work in a different kind of context.
It's like when you did to me.
Yeah, like when I literally, like, I kind of want to pull up the list. Like, I literally sent my first vlog to Furry. It was the first time that I ever did a vlog, and I sent it to her, and like the intro was me like walking into my house and sitting in my chair in my bedroom, and the first thing she said, she was like, the intro really was confusing to me. The camera was moving, and I really wasn't sure what was going on. I'm not sure I really liked that. And I was like, oh, okay. And then the next thing she was talking about the sound. She was like, hey, the sound, like your sound quality is going up and down, and it's really like inconsistent, and it really kind of hurts the ears. I was like, oh, okay. And then every point was like that. It was very blunt, it was very honest, and it was very truthful about where I made mistakes or things that I could have improved. And if she hadn't done that, my videos would not have gone great. Because in my head, I was like, oh, look at what I did! Like, this vlog is all this,
Sit in front of an open window.
I sat in front of an open window. Like, there were so many mistakes. And if I didn't have someone who was honest with me and explaining what I could do better, I would not have gotten better, and I would not have improved at least as quickly as I did. And I definitely feel a lot more confident now when I go to record and I go to do these things because people like Bakari, my boyfriend Selenos, I've even bounced ideas off of Majira and Mark and Gers. Like, they are honest and they come back to me and they say, tell me, I wonder if you can do things this way. And I'm like, you know what? That's a really good way of looking at it, you know?
Another thing to add with that is that it's not necessarily the worst thing to find people that have no clue what you're talking about to read your scripts, because they can give a completely different perspective, which can lead to different ideas on videos. When I send all of my video scripts to one of my fraternity brothers, and he'll say when it starts out, it sucks, and I'm like, okay, I'll go back and do it. And then he'll be like, it sucks slightly less. Also, you should make a video on this. And then it's like, okay, now I have like something I can actually do for like next week, or whenever I decide to upload.
That's actually a really good point, is sending a video to someone who's not as familiar with it. I know I've had like some of my family members watch my makeup videos, and they're like, how do you do your eye? Like, what? Like, you need to explain how you did that eye look again. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that was really unclear. Like, the reason why that works so well is because you can't assume that every watcher knows as much as you do. Because the vast majority of the time, they probably don't. That's why they're watching the video.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure, if you're like, and I think Zillion probably is a great example of this when you're talking about tutorials, you want to make sure you're coming from a perspective that most people are going to be able to consume and understand.
Mm-hmm. Right, we're talking about developing an idea from paper to video, or are we talking about coming up with content ideas now?
Well, kind of both.
Okay.
Kind of in this fashion.
I can't add anything to content ideas because honestly, the list is over a year long, so I'm not running out of it anytime soon. It's just my upload schedule is like a month, so I don't have time to run out of ideas.
You just can't count correctly, that's all.
Oh, the stare.
Windows 10.
I did pull
Windows 8, Windows 10, not Windows 9.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't count either.
What?
Purgatory? What number is that? Did you not tell us? It's like 1/2? Right, okay. Cool, 15 minutes. All right, developing idea from paper to video. So for my I don't really know what to say, but for my content, at least for an idea of paper to video, it's basically people come to me like asking questions like, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you do this? Guess I'm making a video on this. The most common question I get asked is like, how do you shade? So it's like, all right, I'll make a shading video. But, so I did, and it was, okay, I don't know, I need to get feedback on it. I think it has a couple of issues, but at least it's entertaining. And so from my perspective, and this is what you guys were going off of, it's like attention span, making sure things are concise. I come from the teaching realm. I come from the magical world of where you hate to be. Stuck in a prison, listening to some old fart who doesn't know what they're talking about.
So the last section I want to cover, and we'll probably cover this for about 5 minutes, and then we'll take any questions or comments you guys have, is branding and content management, and audience management. And again, this is kind of like editing. There's going to be a whole panel about this. I think the piece that I'll say when it comes to branding and making yourself appear unique is find what works for you, but try not to just outright copy what others are doing. For me in particular, I was like Zillion. I went into it and I said, I went in and I commissioned a logo. I figured out what kind of color palette I wanted. I'm very inspired by Steven Universe, so I use a lot of pinks and blues and whites and greens, like really, really bright neon colors. Even my icon, like on my channel page, it's like styled like Steven Universe. I have like the star eyes and everything like that. I had a upload schedule figured out. Like, it helps to go in with a plan, because when you go in with a plan, your whole content, your whole channel, your whole image, and everything that you are appears more professional and appears in a way that people are willing to invest time in.
And to add to that, what was the saying? Plans will never work the way you want them to, but they are essential.
Yeah, it's a really good idea.
I had no idea what I was doing in the beginning, so I just like making videos. I was like, I'm just gonna do what I want, and eventually it'll just sort of hang together, I guess.
But it's more so about an idea of learning. You know, like if you are more like Bakari, you know, where you're going into it and you're like, you know what, I'm just having fun with this. Like there's not any there's not any rhyme or reason. That is a perfectly valid way to explore YouTube or any kind of content creation. It's just when it comes to understanding you as a person and standing out from the crowd, it kind of helps to have an idea of what am I going to do that makes myself unique? Am I going to have a really iconic, hiya? Am I going to have a really iconic outro? Am I going to have animations? Am I going to be like Adler and do like really cool like outros where I like talk over my credits? It helps to have an idea of figuring out what works for you and what you feel kind of makes you stand out.
It also depends on what do you want with the video. Do you want it to be like a job or do you want it to be a hobby?
Yeah.
Because there are multiple different ways to approach either of them, so it all depends on how you want to go about it because everyone's going to be different.
Yeah. And then beyond that, understanding your audience. Engagement is what helps grow.
Oh yeah.
In every single video of mine, I pin a comment at the top where I talk a little bit about the video and ask like the audience a question to kind of get engagement or conversation started. I try to make sure I'm responding to comments within my videos. I talk to people on Twitter. When I tweet out my videos, I try to be responsive to people who are, giving feedback. All of those kind of things are going to be what drive people back and coming back to your channel consistently over and over, and also sharing it with the person next to them and other friends of them, and then potentially gaining our audience that you never otherwise would reach.
I got a funny comment story. So I made a Furry goes mountain biking video because I had some leftover GoPro footage from my trip to Big Sky, Montana, where I was mountain biking, and some Russian dude commented, "Furries need to go die," and like it was like every single hate comment that you could ever get rolled up into one, and I saw it, and I was so happy. So obviously I pinned it. And I guess that leads into what and you got like 50 replies, and my God, some of you guys are nasty in the comments section. I just pinned it and said, thanks for watching the video. And that kind of comes to the next thing. So when responding to hate, do not retaliate. One of the easiest things to do in today's modern environment is to punch at somebody's level. And it comes from the eye for an eye mentality. And which is because if somebody does something bad to you, you feel like you're obligated to do something bad back to them. But the old saying, an eye for an eye makes the world goes blind, is true. Because it makes it very unclear who is in the right. Because it is just all a huge cloud of gray. And that is why you never want to respond to a hate comment with hate. You want to respond to a hate comment with love, or you want to respond to it with a question, because it'll catch people off guard very, very easily. And 10 out of 10 times, those people are just having a bad day.
Yeah, I actually DM'd like I think it was a Furry hater on my Instagram, and he was like throwing all these insults at me, and I'm like, what's going on? What's your problem? And then after just talking to him, turns out he himself is being bullied at school, and he released that by bullying furries online. So yeah, like they're all people with their own stories. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just that thing. It's like you need to recognize that, oh, you're a person too. It's like every time I see a hate comment, it's like death to furries, furries should die. It's just like, first off, my first thought is like, what's wrong? And then my second thought off is, I would have said that 3 years ago. Welcome to the fandom soon!
But you also want to be careful though, like don't respond just to the hate. You don't want to ignore your genuine fans who love you as well, who would also love to be responded to, so it's sort of balance it.
And don't underestimate the value of a single interaction. I had a moment today that yesterday that almost made me want to cry. I met a new friend of mine, or a new person yesterday, and actually we went up to my room and ate Popeyes and left blue. And she and so she made a comment as they were leaving. She was like, "I'm really happy I got to meet you," and I was like, "It was wonderful meeting you too." She's like, "No, I'm really happy I got to meet you because I don't know if you remember, but FWA about 2 years ago, that when you were heading into dance comps, and as you were going in, you walked past, and there was this little girl who started freaking out, seeing that was you, and someone ran in there, grabbed you, and you came out, you hugged her, you took a picture with her, and you talked to her for a minute, and oh God, I'm gonna cry." It really, you never know when those interactions are gonna stand out to people. And that was literally 2016. It's now 2018. And I had completely forgotten about that interaction. And she reminded me of it, and I remembered it, and it stuck with me because it made me realize like there's people out there who are watching what you do and who appreciate what you do. And when you take that time away to interact with people who really dedicate their time to what you are doing in your art or your craft or your YouTube videos or your Twitch channel, taking that moment aside to really show your appreciation for them can be a life-altering moment for a lot of people. So don't underestimate the value of your time.
Looks like we should probably take questions now.
Yes, we should take questions. We have 7 minutes.
All right, let's do a quick round. You in the front.
What's he for?
He is a Tide Pod. Next question. You in the back.
I actually have a tweet-in question from the Twitterverse from another furry YouTuber. So I'm just going to read it verbatim. Do you feel like the furry YouTuber label is limiting in any way? It seems like most popular furry YouTubers only have about 200,000 subs and stagnate around there. Do you think maybe the fandom just isn't that big enough to break through that number, or is it something else? Love,
So,
PK Russell.
I will.
Of course it's PK.
So we don't have a lot of time, so I feel like this question can go forever. But I'm just gonna touch on one thing. Majira's gonna 100% pass 200,000 subscribers in like not even a month. So let's not even like doubt that. But here's the point that I always like make to people is what you see at cons is only a micro of the people that exist on the internet. And when we look at stagnation, quote unquote, we also have to look at those individual channels, because independent of being a furry YouTuber is also how active and successful is the YouTuber themselves. Are they uploading consistently? Are they engaging with their audience? Are they expanding their reach? Are they managing their social media across other platforms? And that's where I feel like a lot of other furry YouTubers fail, because they focus exclusively on YouTube. Maybe they upload only once a month or so, which is
So what are you connotating?
So that's where I think a lot of people come to the impression that there's a ceiling when it comes to free YouTube. I don't think that ceiling exists. I think that if people manage their channels consistently and do well, they could be the next James Charles. They could be the next PewDiePie.
And another thing to say about that is, if you believe there's a ceiling there, there's a ceiling there. If you don't believe there's a ceiling there, there might be a ceiling there. There might not be. But if you believe there is, there definitely is.
Oh, did you?
No, I'm just great. That's good. I like that.
Let's do. Okay, we'll do her first.
Okay, so I really want to be a YouTuber, and I already have a YouTube channel. It only has like 3 videos on it. I have like 10 subscribers. But I also want to have like I also want to make like videos about like more like furry stuff. But I don't know if I should make like a separate channel for like my furry stuff, and then have my like just like other like random stuff like separate, or if I should kind of like put like furry stuff also on my other channel. So like, what do you think?
Soren has a good answer for this.
Soren!
Hi, I'm here. So I feel like I'm uniquely qualified to answer this question because I'm currently managing 4 different channels that do various different types of things. And I originally had been doing video game like let's plays and video blogs, and then like discussion commentary videos. And I wanted to start doing furry videos too when I got my fursuit. And I knew that my channel was not getting a good amount of crossover viewers. There would be people that would only watch the vlogs or only watch various aspects of it. So it depends on how tightly knit your content is. Like for example, I do my furry videos, which are very niche and genre specific, and then I have my quote daily vlog, which is a completely different style of video. I edit them differently, I shoot them differently, I almost have a different personality, and so I upload those videos on a separate channel, and then I just link all of my channels at the bottom of each channel page, like, hey, here's also some other stuff that I do if you're interested. And every once in a while I'll do a video that might cross over a little bit with content. You can see this on Majira's channels, Kyle Summers and Majira Strawberry. He'll have Kyle in some Majira videos, and he'll have Majira in some Kyle videos. So it's not automatically a good idea, but it's not a bad idea. It really boils down to which content you're making and how well your audience is going to cross over between the different types of videos.
See, and it's funny, you were saying the same thing. I've got a YouTube channel with only like 2 or 3 videos on it too. But I'm one that probably is more likely to want some assistance. So what is the best way of saying, like, get somebody who's already done it to help you out?
Ask questions.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, so there are responses on DMs that I will not answer, and there are responses that I do answer. And the ones that I don't answer are variations of hi.
Do you RP?
And the main reason is because it's playing Russian roulette with drama for me. So the only time I ever really answer DMs is when people like come to me with a question. I will have in-depth conversations with people who ask about editing, art, how I make this, how I do like anything. It's just you gotta have something that you ask. And I guarantee if you contact like any of us on social media, probably at least 2 of us will answer back with how we do exactly what we're doing. Because it's not like we want to hide how we make content. We're not trying to monopolize the market. We want to get more people into it, and we're willing to explain exactly how we do it.
Yeah, Kiva and I will spend countless hours just replying to emails. And we're still like 2 months behind trying to get back to everyone. So we will talk to you.
YouTube is not a competition.
No.
It's not.
No, it's more like battling the algorithm.
So one of the great things about the fandom is the community, but since YouTubers have a sort of public face, what do you do when you make a video that maybe gets a lot of negative feedback from the fandom? How do you stay positive and keep moving forward from there?
So I made a video talking about how alt-right furries don't belong here. And that was very interesting and controversial. But I felt that it was right. And I felt like a lot of other bigger YouTubers, which not knocking them at all, they just refuse to talk on the topic because it is a very controversial topic, but I felt like I wanted to. What you have to do, we're gotta stop. So I'll answer this question very quickly. You have to be confident in what you're saying in your own beliefs, and be willing to withstand the comments that other people make. You are never ever going to be everyone's friend, and you will never ever please everyone. You will never ever please everyone. You have to be willing to accept that sometimes people just aren't going to like what you do. And you have to be able to say, you know what, that's on them, but I'm going to do me and everyone else.
You can have a banana stand and still have people complaining there's no strawberries.
Yeah. All right, so we are being moved out of the panel room. I want to say thank you so much to all of you for coming. This was absolutely fun.
Quick note though, there is a Furry YouTuber meetup going on right now. It's supposed to start at 5 in the fishbowl right outside and upstairs. I don't know if it's going on right now, but we're probably going to be heading there.
We will go outside and take pictures and anything you want. So.
Yeah.